Hey everyone, I'm facing a problem right now and I wanted to debug that with you. Maybe it will turn out into something interesting, I'm not sure. So here is a quick summary. Someone reported an issue on PHPDI and something related to Silly, which is another open source project of mine. When they register a command in the CLI application, basically Silly is a CLI framework for PHP, so you can register just like controllers or command handlers. And you can register a method using the class name and the name of the method. And PHPDI will look at that and say, oh, okay, this is a method that exists on the foo class, so I will load the foo class, create a new instance, and call that method. All good, except since the latest version, someone reported that they get an error, which is the PHP deprecation. Non-static method should not be called statically. So PHP DI must be doing something wrong. They were kind enough to produce like something to reproduce the bug. So I went into the project and created a test that tried to reproduce the problem. Basically, it's this line where I register a method call, and that method is defined here, and it's a non-static method, which should be fine because PHPDI should create a new instance instead of calling the method statically. So all is good so far. And when I run the test, it fails, and I get the deprecation message. So I'm able to reproduce the problem. Perfect. I love these situations because then it's easy to debug. I can go step by step and find the root problem. Except here, that's what I've been doing. And I've identified that the warning is being triggered here in the callable reflection class. So you don't have to care about the rest. I just know that the warning is triggered on this call. So let me run the test in debug mode, and I've set up a breakpoint here. So we land here. The callable array is what I've provided in my test. It's this array. Okay, so let me get back here. You can check is array. I'm calling callable on an array containing the string, which is a class name and the method name. So it's not magic at all. It's really pure, very simple PHP. I'm calling isArray on that array. And if I move on to the next line, so currently xdebug is blocked here. And if I execute that line, it will trigger the deprecation message. So let me step into or step over. It's the same. So I will execute that line. And there you go. We have the exception thrown. It's called by PHP unit. We can have a look at the exception. Non-static method should not be called statically. Except I'm not calling anything here. And that's what's really confusing me. So this exception is a PHP unit framework error deprecated class. So I'm guessing PHP unit catches any deprecation message and turns it into an exception, which is really fine. But why is PHP telling me that I'm calling the method? I'm not calling the method. I'm simply calling isArray. So let me stop the execution because that's where the test fails. So why is that calling the method? I don't understand. So I went into my favorite tool in these kind of weird situations. Let me remove all the noise. So I've created a class. So this is eval, it runs PHP online. I've created a class, a method. It's not a static method because that's what we want to test. I create an array with the class name, the method name, and actually we can see that, that's just a string matching. And then I call isArray. And there is no warning here. There is no error. So I don't understand why an error would be triggered in my code and not here. There must be something more. and I'm not sure what it is. Why is this line so special? Let me check that I'm really calling the official PHP function. I'm not using any function. Why would that trigger the deprecation message? Now, of course, if we could, I mean, if Xdebug was running these lines and PHP was running these lines, we could investigate here. But really, it's failing here. Let me show you. If I put a breakpoint a bit earlier and I debug again, I'm here. I can move to the next line. All is good, and then I move to the next line. And here I have the error. Non-static method should not be called statically. And what's weird is that the deprecation message is thrown from the right class, callable reflection, but the line is the line 19. And that line is it's this one. So it's not really precise what's happening here. We can see that we have a next debug message thing. I'm just noticing that now. Let's check the value. It's not really practical, but that's better. Yeah, that's the same thing. I think it's just Xdebug providing the complete stack trace. And we can see that it's the same line, same file. So it's not really helpful. And I could imagine that it would be my computer doing my PHP installation doing something weird. So what I did is I just called var dump isArray here. I will set up a breakpoint, debug, and no warning here. So it's not something related to isArray, it seems. And I'm not sure where to go from here. You know what? I could edit those files. We don't really care. So let's edit that. And let's continue playing. Let's move on. And we have the error. So it's really related to isArray. What? Let's dump the array just to see. Oh, even doing a var dump on the array triggers the warning. What is the warning? Non-static method. What is so special about the? Oh, I think I see. Oh, I think so. I added this type, this parameter type, in the latest PHPDI invoker version. So that's a library from PHPDI, and I added this parameter type. And my guess here is that. Oh, let's give it a try. So let's create a function abc callable a, and now we can do this here. So I'm guessing that this parameter type might change the internal type of the parameter. So let's do now abc a. That's not what I expected. Wait, let's simplify. So argument 1 must be of type callable. Array given. Is it not? I mean, it's not really a callable because this is not a static method, but why? Oh, wait. Let's try on PHP 7.4. Oh, there you go. I'm running PHP 7.4 for the PHP unit test here, but let's say I switch to PHP 8, I should get a different error. Oh, wait, what? Now it's working on PHP 8. Okay, the test is passing on PHP 8. Let me check. This is not a static method. Why is it working here? Fatal error. Uncode type. Must be of type callable array given. So, in any case, I think I found the root source of the bug is that this turns the parameter into a more complex type. Let's experiment further. Echo get type. Is it the right name? Oh. Array. So it's still an array. Oh. I think the conversion, okay, the error actually happens here, but if I don't use it, if I don't use the variable, if I don't use the array, maybe, oh, it's still triggered. Yeah, because I use it here. Stupid. So I still get the warning. Why do So this method is called in the application class. That's where it was triggered. And I'm not editing that. So what's really interesting here, and I had no idea, is that the callable parameter type seems to affect the variable, and whenever we use it, then it's kind of evaluating that callable is a proper callable and throwing the warning. Why do we have an error here on PHP 8 and not I don't have it locally, I'm not sure, but that's really interesting. So how do I go and fix that? I could either roll back the change here and remove the parameter type, but I can also make my code stricter. So the one calling it like this one could pass an actual callable. The thing is, since PHPDI lazily instantiate, sorry, let me get back there. So this is the class name, and PHPDI will instantiate that into a object, and it will do that lazily only when it is actually called. So here I'm just registering the command, I'm not executing it, so I don't really want to resolve the callable here because that's too early. I'm not actually calling the callable, so that line is a problem because I can't create a callable reflection. So that sounds reasonable to remove that because it's not really a callable here. And we can actually check that. So let's check that. This is not really a callable, and that's intentional. Here it's a closure, so it's a real callable. If it's an array, we have the class and method, and I'm checking if the method exists. If it doesn't, I'm throwing an exception. But if the method actually exists, I'm returning a reflection method. And here, the class could be an object or a class name. If it's an object, then it will be a non-static method call. If it's a class name, it could be a static method call, but also a non-static method call. That's what PHPDI allows. So I should revert that. And if I do, then I'm guessing that everything will be fine. Yep. So let's remove all the changes I've made here. Yep. And just remove that. And now my test is passing. So I think my mistake was introducing this parameter type, expecting PHP not to complain about this being a callable, because so far in previous PHP versions, it has never been a problem. But I'm guessing that since they introduced that parameter type, now it's more strictly checked, and I need to deal with that. So let's remove that. Okay, I'm really happy to have found the source of the problem and to have found something new, learned something new about PHP. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, and bye-bye.